So you took over the duties of the original B1 band down
Yeah.
in Chapel Hill. Now go ahead and tell your story about Chapel Hill.
Well, the barracks was a community center that
Yeah,
they
that's a
built.
nice building.
Nice
Yes.
building. Downstairs were our sleeping quarters.
Hmm.
Big space, and they had some rooms upstairs for first class or the upper class people.
Hmm.
The company clerk, the one who kept the books, was upstairs, and the what was Finley? I don't know. Finley was had a rate higher than ours,
Too, I didn't
and
know.
Francois, and the man who was the drum major. Four
Mac.
people lived upstairs, and we lived in the basement.
Now that arrangement of those people that were in charge, how was that arrived at?
It was just, it was there, it was given to us when we were getting organized at Great Lakes. See, we stayed there and practiced for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Practice and marching and stuff like that.
All right.
And these people were in charge of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's,
So the organization was sort of in place, and all you needed was, quote unquote, a leader.
that's right.
Okay. All right. Continue.
So when we got there, we met Chief Smart, and he was the man in charge. He was a poor musician, but he was there. And Francois didn't do much conducting. Once in a while, he would do some leading. I don't remember him doing any marching whatsoever. But the drum major, who became first class while we were there, did all the master at arms stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we practiced in the upstairs auditorium
Mm-hmm.
in that community center. And when we got ready for duty, we had to march from the barracks 3.5 miles over to the drill field.
Right.
We got to first put up a flag, raise a flag in the morning. We got over there, and then we would go to a drill field, which was used as a baseball field, and we would sit in the dugout. Summer, winter, fall, we would always sit in there, and we would go through some practice.
That's where you rehearsed.
That's where we rehearsed.
Summer and winter, no matter what the weather.
That's right.
Okay.
And at lunchtime, we would march the cadets to lunch, to chow. Then we would form and march to our barracks without playing, however. And we'd eat lunch. And after we ate lunch, we would practice upstairs, either concert or big band,
Mm-hmm.
or break up into small groups and practice.
Mm-hmm.
But we practiced from then until about 4 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
have supper, and those who had liberty could go.
Mm-hmm.
Those who had duty had to stay.
Now you were there until the end of the war.
I was there until 1945. I think it was about August of 45.
Okay, let me pick up now. Emory, you went to that band. This
Yes.
band was already there,
Mhm.
and you're a clarinet player. And tell me if I have this correct. You were not what they thought you were going to be. They wanted a trumpet
They
player.
wanted a trumpet player.
Yeah. So what happened?
They had to keep me because they wouldn't take me back.
Okay. All right.
Story of my life, see.
So you stayed in this band until the end of the war too?
Yes, after VJ Day, we split up. They stayed, and the younger guys, guys who weren't as proficient, were moved out.
And you were one of them?
Yeah.
And what happened to you then?
I went to the Naval School of Music
Okay.
and took a lesson. Might have stayed there a week or so. Maybe
Oh, now,
two.
where did you go there alone?
No, there was some with me. I remember there must have been at least two, maybe I don't. I remember two guys with me because we went to the same unit afterwards. We
Okay.
went to another band or formed another band and went overseas at the time.
Okay, now and you went where when you formed another band at the school,
Evidently, yes.
and you were transferred
Yes, we went to Okinawa.
to Okinawa,
Yes.
and this was a mixed band then.
No, it was not.
This is all black band.
Black band. But after we got to Okinawa, we stayed for a certain amount of time, and we went to Hawaii. Then we mixed in with some other people at the time, and that was probably that was in '45 then.
Uh-huh.
It turned 40. It was 45. Was that wasn't it? That must have been. Let's see. When did I get out? I got out in June '46, and probably around the spring of the year we were in Hawaii, and the band was mixed on then.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 2 or 3 guys from the original Chapel Hill band: Aaron James and Lawrence Lucas and Robert Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
They were there. It was 4 of us, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And you stayed there until the end of the war.
Yes.
Now, were you discharged from over there?
No, they flew me into New Orleans. I was discharged in New Orleans.
Discharged in New Orleans. Then you pursued the rest of your life.
Right.
And I ran into you up at Howard, but I didn't know you were a veteran. I mean, I knew you were a veteran, had no idea that you had been in the Navy.
Bandsmen were in there at the time. Some of the other bands were in that same Howard band.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I find that incredible. This is such a small world, and there's just so much to know. Well, the rest of this is just what you remember. Just confer between you, and I'll ask questions where I can. You know?
Well, I played saxophone and clarinet. I played in the jazz band after that, but I didn't do it at Chapel Hill. But I had bought a saxophone and learned it at Chapel Hill, and it came in handy then.
Mm-hmm. Now you said you had one lesson at the school.
Yeah.
And then you went into this band. Is that what it
Yes.
was?
It really stayed at that long.
Okay, but you rehearsed every day. Now, where were you guys
I don't
birthed?
remember rehearsing. I remember just that lesson. I don't know what else we did.
Okay, now this is interesting to me because it seems like I remember this, but correct me if I'm wrong. Where were you birthed when you went to the school?
Evidently, we were birthed at the school.
Okay,
Yeah, we were.
all right,
We were, yeah.
all right. So,
Because I remember, I remember that because there were more than there were a few blacks there. Somebody stole my underwear. You used to wash it, put it on the line, and somebody.
Yeah.
I remember that. And I remember that's where it was.
okay. So the band had to go down the road there next to the fence to the barracks.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I just know that was over 50 years ago. But I
Yeah.
remember it was close by. It was where everybody else was.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's the barracks was down there.
I don't know though. I don't remember. Nah, frankly, I don't remember where we stayed.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that now because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because that wasn't an issue in my mind. Evidently.
Sure. Well, the barracks was down the road past the captain's house. And then the barracks were there.
I just remember the school of music. I don't remember where I stayed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now you don't remember who the leader of the band was in Okinawa?
Yeah, it was first class. Black guy. Brockington. Howard Brockington.
Howard.
He was from Lansing or East Lansing, Michigan.
Uh-huh.
And he could arrange talking to you, sitting cross his legs, never used a piano. And he arranged, he was a really, really fine musician. He ended up, last I heard of him, he's retired from that. He was the head of the music department at Delaware State College after the war.
Okay.
And he had a doctorate. He didn't have it then, but he had a doctorate from Michigan State.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I find that interesting. Now, while you were on Okinawa, your duties out there in that band, did you guys play mostly dance band, or how much military was
Most of the
there?
dance band wasn't hardly in the military at all.
Okay.
And we even would get up in the middle of the night and play for the cooks, because the bread was baked in the middle of the night, and we'd get it coming out of the oven. We did that to get that bread.
All right.
And some other things.
I want to back up a little bit to Great Lakes there with Jim. Before you were put into a unit, talk to me a little bit about what went on there at Great Lakes.
You mean doing my boot training?
Yeah. No. After your boot training.
After boot training?
Yeah.
We were just put in the band, And we would rehearse every day,
Mm-hmm.
either inside or outside, marching or playing some concert music.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't remember much of what we played, but I know we rehearsed
Yeah.
about 2 weeks,
Okay.
and then they told us to ship out.
Okay, so the group that you rehearsed with was really the same group that you shipped out with.
That's right.
So that was the group that Francois was in charge of.
He was in charge.
Okay, that. Yeah, I find it find it just incredible the
But we
gaps.
didn't ever see the chief up there. We saw
Right.
the chief after we got
Right.
in Chapel Hill.
Right. Right.
The people there accepted us because the black band before us, the B1 band, had been there for 21 months. And they weren't accepted when they went there.
I know, but
We were accepted.
they told me about that when I went down there with them to that building, and folks around there still remember them, and it was just incredible. Some of the band had been there before, but there were a few people that went when I went along with them that had not been back there. And when they walked in, I wish I had have had the camera then. I said, "Oh man, yeah, I remember this. This was the kitchen over here," and it was just incredible. I mean, you could just read it, you know.
You know, we had our own cook
Yeah.
and our own person who helped the cook. And we got a subsistence, and we put that subsistence together, all of us into this fund, and our bookkeeper kept the books for it. And at the end of each quarter, we got a refund of what we had saved.
Yeah.
And that always came out right nice.
Sure. Because everybody pooling in made it much better than trying to do it on your own.
Yeah.
And
We hired our own cook
Mm-hmm.
and our own assistant cook.
Now, wait a minute. You said you hired them.
Yeah.
What, were they in the band? They weren't band
No,
people.
No.
These
We
are
hired
outside.
out in the community.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I understand now. Now.
We used to have little meetings to talk about this business.
Yeah.
And the bookkeeper would get up and tell us how much money we had saved and how much we were going to get back.
Mm-hmm.
And we were always happy to get that amount of money back.
Mm-hmm. Now, talk to me a bit about your leader. Did he live there with you?
No, he lived over on the campus,
Somewhere.
somewhere over there.
He lived over on the campus and came over there daily to march with you back to the campus?
No, he'd be there when we got there.
Oh, he would meet you after you had marched to the campus.
That's right.
Okay, now, how about the rehearsals in the afternoon? Was he a part of that?
Yeah, he was a part of that.
Okay. All
He'd
right.
get in his car and drive back over.
Okay. Okay.
Well, he marched.
You remember that stuff? I don't
And the name was
Smart.
Smart.
Yeah, Chief
Smart. Okay. I'll
But he didn't last very long. He left somewhere along the line before the war ended.
Yeah.
And we got this guy, what's his name? Blankenship. Blankenship.
then Blankenship came to the band, and he was a chief then too.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a tuba player.
Yeah.
And he took my tuba once in his hand and said, "Let me show you how this goes." And it sounded like doo-doo. And I laughed at him. But I was scared that he was going to reprimand me after I laughed, but he didn't.